आप सब दोस्तों को नमस्कार। अभी नेक्स्ट टॉपिक जो आज इस लेक्चर में आई विल बी कवरिंग इट इज एग्जामिनेशन इन ऑब्स्टेटिक्स. इट इज इन कंटिन्यूशन विद माय प्रीवियस लेक्चर व्हिच had taken details in obstetric history taking. Now this lecture will be focused on examination in obstetrics. After taking history, the next thing we are supposed to do is examining our patient. Okay. Now number 1 is the general examination. Number 1 is the general examination. It is similar to examining any patient in any department. Okay, but I will be focusing more on those things that are related to obstetric and those have clinical significance in obstetric history taking and examination. While examining, we just by looking at the woman, we get an overall assessment of her build. What is her height? Approximate. But when we do examination, we have to measure her height in centimeter. Okay, it's not just कि she is tall or she is small. इस type से हम नहीं बोलेंगे. We will be taking her height in centimeter. Why it is important? If she is less than 150 centimeter, it brings her to high risk pregnancy. Okay, number 1 is height. Then weight. We will be taking in kilogram. If she is less than 45 kg or obese, it takes her to high risk category. So by taking her height and weight, we can calculate her BMI. It's kg per kilogram, weight in kilogram, divided by her height in meter square. So we can calculate the BMI and we can determine whether she is obese or not. So if she is less than 150 centimeter, it makes her high risk. Weight importance. If she is less than 45 kg, she is at high risk, and if she is obese, she is high risk. Now we'll look at the pallor. Whether she is pale. Pallor places we know the tongue, then our conjunctiva. Okay, then our nail beds. We look for pallor. Then icterus, sclera. Sometimes if jaundice is her bilirubin levels are too high, her whole body will be looking yellowish. Then oral cavity. Why this is important? Especially when she is around term. Oral cavity. If you think that she has pallor, she is pale, then look for her tongue also. You will get another indication of malnutrition like glossitis. On oral cavity examination, you will also get stomatitis. So these findings will be favoring the finding of pain. So she is not only anemic, she is also having another deficiencies. She is having glossitis and stomatitis. So oral cavity is important in general. And when near term, you have to rule out any dental caries, which are the sites of infection. So in puerpera, during her puerperium, these dental caries, they may be accountable for the infection, source of infection. Now coming to, after this general examination, these things, after covering these things, we will be coming to her neck examination. What we are supposed to look especially in neck examination, any her veins, neck veins. ठीक है? How are her neck veins? Then any lymph nodes. Any lymph nodes palpable? This We have to look lymph nodes, especially we have to look in almost every patient we take history. Okay, it's not that only in obstetrics we are going to look for this. Make it a habit of looking for lymph nodes wherever you are examining a person. The neck veins, if they are full, it gives about indication about her either anemia, severe anemia, cardiac overload, and lymph nodes about any it gives about the information about the infection source, and sometimes it for tuberculosis they are diagnosed unexpectedly. And thyroid, thyroid gland, look for goiter if any. Okay, now coming to the most important part, pedal edema. You can never ever miss this examination in a pregnant woman. This is a must. You have, if even whether it is present or absent, you have to mention pedal edema is present or there is pedal edema, or absent, no pedal edema. This is very important. Never miss this examination because this is a very common finding. And how will you do the examination for pedal edema? ठीक है, pedal edema का examination करना है, but how? तो sites you have to look for. Number one, you will be getting fullness on looking on the below medial malleolus. Number one. Number two, it's the anterior surface. Look at the anterior surface of lower 1/3 of tibia. That is also called shin. How? यहाँ कैसे देखेंगे? You will have to press with the thumb. But for how much duration we need to press with the thumb? We need to press with the thumb till our nail blanches. That much is enough. It's not only 5 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever second. We have to press with our thumb at the pressure that our nail blanches. That much is enough. And then we will have to remove, and then we will have to palpate with our palm. Okay? We will get the, if she is having pedal edema, we will get the depression at the pressure point. So, this is how we look for pedal edema. Some another indication that she is having edema, if she has come wearing socks and you get the depressed marks at the topmost part of the where the socks comes. This also indicates that she is having edema. If she has come with the slippers and there are fine marks, good marks, depressed marks of the strips of her shoes, it also indicates that there is edema. But this pressing with the thumb till our nail blanches, they should turn white. Our nail should turn white. That much pressure for that much duration is enough. We have to remove it, and then we have to, mostly you get the, on visual examination only you get the depression, but you still, if you are not having the visually it is not prominent, sometimes by palpating you get the depression, uneven surface. So what are the causes of pedal edema? I have told you this is very common. This pedal edema is very frequently seen in pregnant ladies. So what are the causes? So the causes can be defined, pedal edema causes can be defined physiological and pathological. Physiological and pathological. If she is having physiological causes of pedal edema, reassure her. If she is having pathological causes, find out them and treat them. To reassure her about her physiological causes, you should be confident enough to say, okay, don't worry, this is a normal thing which you are seeing in pregnancy. So what are the causes of physiological edema? We all know after pregnancy, धीरे धीरे uterus enlarges, whole baby is enclosed inside this uterus. It becomes heavy, it occupies extra space from your abdomen. It causes pressure on this gravid uterus. Gravid uterus causes pressure on common iliac veins. So जब ऊपर से यहाँ प्रेशर पड़ेगा, so the water is retained in the lower extremities. The venous pressure of lower extremities is higher as compared to normal, and it causes extravasation of fluid, which leads to physiological edema. So how will you determine whether this is physiological edema and not pathological edema? There are few signs like slight. Number one, edema is slight. It's not like whole of the leg is swollen up till groin. अगर पूरा ऊपर तक swollen है, it is not physiological edema. Okay, if she is having edema only in lower part, lower 1/3 or so, that means it is slight. It may be physiological. Okay. Number two, usually, not always, but usually more in right leg. This is because of the dextrorotation of the uterus, and what it causes, dextrorotation causes more pressure on the right side, right lower extremity. ठीक. Number three, when you examine her blood pressure, it is normal, not associated with raised BP, not associated with raised BP, not associated with pallor. So these are the other things that we will be examining in women, and not associated with any other feature of heart disease. Like if suppose necks are also full, neck veins are full, and she is having pedal edema, chances are that she is in cardiac failure, not physiological. If her blood pressure is high and she is having pedal edema, you will not say this is physiological. Even if it is slight, you will say it is preeclampsia. If she is having pallor and she is having physiological, if she is having edema, even slight, it is because of anemia. And other signs of malnutrition like glossitis and other things, hypoproteinemia, if her hairs are pale, then it is because of maybe hypoproteinemia and not physiological edema. Okay. And the most important part is, usually the physiological edema, it is nil when she wakes up. She says, doctor, there is no edema in the morning, but when I work and in the evening I notice that there is edema. So when the edema disappears by rest, except causes of cardiac edema, when the edema disappears after rest, it is mostly physiological edema. So just by examining, we get few ideas that this may be because of physiological edema. Her blood pressure is normal, she is not pale, her neck veins are normal, her CVS examination is normal. So we come that okay, it may be physiological. But for that also we need to know her serum proteins, because hypoproteinemia is also a cause of edema. So what are the causes of, now coming to pathological causes of edema. We will be discussing them in detail in the respective lectures covering those topics, but you should be aware of what are the causes, pathological causes of any edema. Suppose the examiner asked you what are the causes of pedal edema in a pregnant woman. First you will be telling physiological. Okay, पहले ही हार्ट डिसीज और एनीमिया नहीं बोलना है, बिकॉज फिजियोलॉजिकल एडिमा इज मोस्ट कॉमन, सो यू हैव टू गिव क्रेडिट of that to the physiological edema. So causes of pedal edema. Number 1, you will be saying physiological. Okay. Then coming to pathological causes. The most common is physiological, and among the pathological it is preeclampsia. Number 2, anemia, hypoproteinemia. Number 3, heart disease and nephrotic syndrome. Nephrotic syndrome, only leg edema will not be there. She will be bloated. Her whole body will be bloated. So you have to take the name at the last. What is important? Nephrotic syndrome में पूरा body swell हो जाता है, ठीक? Now next examination, after detailed discussion about this pedal edema, friends, I want to state that if any one of you have any queries regarding the topics covered, please do write in your comment box. I'll be replying them as soon as I get time. But I'll be replying, this is sure. Okay. Now, the next examination we do pulse rate, blood pressure. Okay. There is seen physiologically the heart rate is slightly higher than in a normal woman. If a woman, when I have seen her in non-pregnant state, her heart rate is 80. Maybe during her pregnancy she get 90 or 95. So don't worry. This much we will be discussing in detail the causes and the physiology behind all these in the respective chapter. Now BP. How you will be taking the BP? Blood pressure is very important in any obstetric history, obstetric examination, because preeclampsia is a very important complication of pregnancy, which is diagnosed only with the high BP, proteinuria and edema. And or this may not be present, this may not be present, but this should always be present. So this is preeclampsia, which is very common in obstetric practice, in hospitals, in referral centers, and this is really critical thing. It is life threatening for mother and also for baby, especially mother. Okay, so blood pressure is very critical. You cannot miss. And how to measure it? Preferably when you are examining a normal obstetric person, you will not be saying her, okay, लेट जाओ मैं आपका BP नाप रहा हूँ. Best way is to take blood pressure in sitting position. Okay, preferably in left arm. Preferably sitting position, yes, preferably in left arm, and proper size cuff should be there. You should not be using a baby cuff. It will be giving false readings. And you should also not be using a very large cuff for a small size woman. So cuff is important, size of cuff is important. And one thing, the machine, while taking the blood pressure, machine should be placed at the woman's heart level. Although this is covered in your physiology also, although this is covered in medical history taking also, in medical department, medicine department, but for blood pressure recording I will be giving more stress, because this is very important from obstetric point of view. To diagnose preeclampsia, we cannot miss a woman of preeclampsia. So this is wrong. I mean, this is criminal negligence if you don't take blood pressure properly and you miss a preeclampsia, because she may lose her life. Okay, so this is very important. to identify her and to give her proper treatment. Now we know that there are Korotkov sounds. Okay, so systolic for blood pressure, you just palpate this here, you inflate the cuff. Where you lose the palpation, your pulse, you lose the pulse. That means you are around systolic blood pressure. Go 20 millimeter above it and then slowly deflate it. Then you will be getting where the sounds appear. They are called systolic blood pressure. And the diastolic blood pressure is when the Korotkov sounds, they disappear. This is important. Disappear, it is called Korotkov phase 5. Earlier it was Korotkov phase 4, when there used to be muffling of sounds. Korotkov phase 4 earlier, but now it is recommended that you should take the disappearance of the Korotkov sound, that is Korotkov phase 5, as diastolic blood pressure. As diastolic Korotkov phase 5. Suppose sound does not disappear. It usually happens in older age. In that case, we take Korotkov phase 4, muffling of sounds. But where there is disappearance, it is to be taken. If you get a high blood pressure on first reading, do not panic. Okay? Oh my God, she is preeclampsia. No. You be calm. If you are calm, your patient will be calm. You be calm. Ask her to take rest for 5, 10, 15 minutes and then repeat blood pressure measurement again. If she is again positive, if she is again having higher blood pressure, then label her high blood pressure. In first recording, if she is having normal blood pressure, okay. But if in first recording you get higher blood pressure, you should be it's preferable to take another reading after 10-15 minutes of her rest to avoid any false recordings. Okay. Now CVS examination, as usual, you will be hearing the sounds, her heart sounds. Then RS, respiratory system examination, as usual in the other departments. Now per abdomen, I am talking per abdomen, only abdominal examination, not obstetric examination. Obstetric examination I will be taking in another class in detail. Per abdomen examination, especially in early pregnancy, you will be looking for her liver, whether it is palpable or not, her spleen, whether it is palpable or not, and her kidneys posteriorly. This is important because sometimes during examination you may come across some conditions that are diagnosed incidentally. Okay, this is important. Never miss this. Even if you are an obstetrician, you have to respect all these symptoms because she has come to you as an entire person, not only with her uterus. She has come to you not only with her uterus. She has come to you with her entire system. So you should be aware about how to examine her CVS, her RS, and you have to give importance to diagnosing her other conditions also. Sometimes there are times you will come across in your life that you will be identifying diagnosing some diseases incidentally during her antenatal examination. Okay. Now, after doing all these examinations, she is a woman, she is pregnant, she is having breast, there are some changes that are in her breast and some complications may arise. So, breast examination is mandatory. Breast examination is also mandatory in an obstetric case. What you will be changes? You will be noticing the pregnancy changes. We will be discussing the detailed pregnancy changes in another class. Look for pregnancy changes. Then any abnormality of nipple. So there is cracked nipple. If she is near term and she is having cracked nipple, so you should be giving her treatment for this. Explain her how to take care of these cracked nipples. so that she does not come across any problem during breastfeeding. Then retracted nipples. If she is having retracted nipples, you have to take care of them also. So near term, these two things are to be ruled out. Okay, if you want her period, her breastfeeding to go smoothly. Now her obstetric examination. This was the general examination that you do in any person coming to you. Okay. Now obstetric examination. In obstetric examination, what we do? There is local examination of vulva. Local examination of vulva to look for any varicosities, okay, and for any discharge or any source of infection, you have to look for local examination of vulva. Then this is an obstetric examination. In per abdomen obstetric examination, per abdomen obstetric, you will have to look for what is the size of height of the uterus, whether any scar mark are present or not, which indicate the previous pregnancies or previous surgeries. ठीक? Then you will come across pigmentation over her abdomen, which are the signs of pregnancy. So detailed examination, per abdomen obstetric examination and obstetric local examination of vulva. Then if needed, nowadays vaginal examination is rarely done during her pregnancy, because it was earlier used to be done in first trimester to date the pregnancy, to know about the size of the uterus. But nowadays, with the easy ultrasound, every woman undergoes ultrasound. So dating of pregnancy is usually done with the help of ultrasound, and it is comfortable also. It is really not comfortable for a woman to undergo vaginal examination. But in cases of medico-legal cases, it's of importance in medico-legal cases, where a woman, you have to do examination and you have to give as much possible signs of pregnancy you can give. Or it is also important, vaginal examination in early pregnancy is also important. Suppose you are practicing at a very distant area, no facilities are available in the 100 or 150 kilometer vicinity. So what you will be doing? You cannot ask her to go and get your ultrasound done around 150 kilometer. Or you cannot say ki, okay, I have studied only ultrasound is to be done for pregnancy confirmation or for pregnancy gestational age estimation. So you should be aware about that. This vaginal examination is done, and this will be especially more important for those who are postgraduate students. So they should be aware about this, and they should be familiar about this, and they should be practicing this. They should be able to do this. So whenever you have to do this vaginal ultrasound, first of all do the examination. Then pars speculum examination. What you do? First examination of the vulva, then pars speculum examination. Why pars speculum examination is done? Suppose you want to take any smear, cervical smear for pap smear, or high vaginal swab if you have doubt regarding any infection. So before doing per vaginal examination, you should be doing pars speculum examination. There should be proper light behind you. You should do pars speculum examination to inspect the state of cervix, to inspect the condition of vagina, and then you will be doing vaginal examination with your gloved fingers and this bimanual examination. When you do the bimanual examination, be very gentle, okay? It's painful. It's not comfortable. Okay, it's not comfortable, so you have to be very gentle. Also, you are examining a gravid uterus, so do not handle unnecessarily. So what are the important things you will look with bimanual examination? You will insert your gloved 2 fingers of your right hand if you are a right-handed doctor. Your gloved fingers smeared with the lubricant. Separate the vulva with the other hand. Then you insert 2 fingers and you put the palm in a suprapubic position of left hand. So you are doing bimanual examination. From down you are inserting 2 fingers and from up you are holding it with your palm, finger palm. So what you will be looking for? How is the cervix? How is the cervix? Its feel. It's we say it's like tip of our nose in non-pregnant, non-gravid, and it feels like our lips when it is pregnant. Now uterus, we'll be looking for uterus. सर्विक्स की फील देखेंगे, देन वी लुक डायरेक्शन, किधर की तरफ है, वो एक साइड को है, इधर को है, राइट को है, लेफ्ट को है, या पीछे है, आगे है. देन यूट्रस साइज, हाउ इज द साइज ऑफ द यूट्रस? यू हैव टू बी वेरी सिस्टमेटिक. ऐसे नहीं कि पहले सर्विक्स देख लिया फिर यूट्रस पे चले गए फिर सर्विक्स की डायरेक्शन नोट करेंगे. नो, सर्विक्स का देखो, फील इट, then make a note in your head, in your brain, that okay, where is the direction, and go for the next step, that uterus size. Detailed analysis I will be taking in next in another class. And third thing is adnexus, whether there is any mass, is it tender, non-tender, if mass is present, if uterus is deviated to one side or not. Like we have to, but we have to be very gentle. One thing important, if you are not supposed to judge the adequacy of pelvis in this examination. No, even if she is short stature, you are not supposed to judge for the adequacy of pelvis in this stage. This is very important. I have covered the examination of obstetric examination in detail in a case obstetric case. Number 1, general examination, which includes her height, her weight, the importance of these, whether she is pale or not, icterus is present or not, her oral cavity, like signs of glossitis or stomatitis. Then coming to her neck, centrally you will look for thyroid swelling, or then you will be looking for her neck veins, whether they are full or not, then any lymph node present or not. Then look for pedal edema, which is very important. Then physiological pedal edema, what are the causes of physiological pedal edema, and how to differentiate physiological pedal edema from pathological pedal edema. Okay, how to check for pedal edema, what are the clinical tips you will be required. Then measurement of her pulse rate, her blood pressure, how to measure blood pressure. What Korotkov 5, disappearance of the sounds, is the point where you mark the diastolic blood pressure. Then her routine central venous system, her routine respiratory system, and per abdomen, liver, spleen and kidney. Sometimes a woman comes with you with fever, she is pregnant, and you find that back she has lump. So this is clear-cut case of pyelonephritis. Okay. Now coming to breast examination, she is pregnant. You will look for signs of pregnancy, any complication of breast like cracked nipples or depressed nipples. Then obstetric examination, per abdomen obstetric examination. Then local examination of vulva, what to look for. Then per speculum examination. If you need to take any smears, you will have to take at this point. When you, after local examination, you do per speculum examination, and during this per speculum examination, after taking the smears, you will insert your hand for bimanual examination, which is rare nowadays in early pregnancy. It has been replaced mostly by ultrasound. Okay, and while doing bimanual examination, you have to be very careful, very gentle. Then you will be looking for, first of all, cervix, then uterus, and then adnexa. And most important, never ever judge the adequacy of her pelvis at this stage. Okay. So if you like my lecture, my video, please do subscribe. And if you have any query regarding this topic, you please write down in comment box. I will be replying you soon.